It's Thursday. That means we have a vet here to answer your pet questions. So if you have a problem with your pet, you can give us a call. The number is 918-460-KJRH. And as always, it's Dr. Joe Landers here to answer your questions. And he's brought along Chucko this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, this little Chucko, he's about a year old. He's about he's a Chihuahua. I mean, he's certainly
pretty much a Chihuahua, right?
Yeah, he is. We're going to stop by Taco Bell after this and have a bite to eat.
He likes the nachos.
He's a good he's a good little guy. He's Animal Aid found him kind of running around, and he's been neutered, and he's all ready to go. He's a youngster. He's still a little bit kind of nervous about things. These dogs typically are a little bit nervous because they're smaller, and they know that, and they want to make sure that they do okay. But he got the little apple head. He's a great little guy. He
seems like it. A lot of energy.
Yeah, he does. We actually have several little Chihuahuas there, and they play together pretty good. Sometimes they get a little bossy with each other, but overall they're really good little dogs. He is faster than grease lightning. He's being really good for me right now, but I'm warning people that if you adopt this dog,
he can move pretty quick.
Oh my gosh, you just put him down a second ago. That's why I grabbed him really quick, because I was like, oh, don't run off on me. So,
and people can find him at animalaid.org.
Yes, animalaid.org, or he's over at Heritage Veterinary Hospital.
Okay, all right, let's go to the phones now. First up, we have Ariel in Pryor. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning.
What's your question?
I just recently purchased a red blue heeler mix, and I have 3 small children, and he's an ankle biter. And I was wondering if there's anything we can do to mitigate him running after the kids, hurting the kids.
How old is he now?
He's 4 months old now. I've had him about 2 months.
Yeah, and understand that ankle biting is exactly what those dogs are bred and taught to do, because that's how they herd the cattle, and they kind of nip at their heels a little bit and get them to go together. So as your kids run, and I'm supposing that your kids may be, very calm and not run or get in anything, but as they do that, that comes natural to them. So usually what you got to do is tell them no. And I'll give them the 2 or 3 rule. You do that a couple of times, and I time you out in your cage, and that will work for a little while. The other deal, a lot of times, is to avoid that behavior in the first place. If the kids are running around outside, you don't let the dog run around, but that's kind of the time that they all want to play and everything, so that's kind of tough. So, yeah, you got to kind of work on that. So.
Sure. Let's head out to Bristow now and talk to Robert. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning.
What's your question?
My question is, I have a little Chihuahua. He's 5 years old, and the person that I got him from told me that if I fed him small amounts of chocolate every day or every other day, he wouldn't have seizures as often. And it seems to be working, but I was wondering if there is actually any validity to this.
Well, actually, that ought to work kind of oppositely a little bit, because actually chocolate has theobromide in it, which is a lot like caffeine, actually, and so it's kind of a stimulant. It kind of depends on why the dog is seizuring in the first place, but most of the time chocolate is not a great thing for them, especially in big amounts, but they're very small, so a lot of times it doesn't take that much. There's a lot better medications out there to kind of stop seizuring, and if your dog is seizuring, my rule of thumb real quick is if your dog is seizuring over 20 minutes or over once a month, it probably ought to be put on some medication. So,
okay, could be a serious problem.
Yeah, it gets worse and progresses.
Sure.
So.
All right, let's talk to Chelsea in Sand Springs. Good morning, Chelsea. What's your question?
Hi. We have 3 dogs, and my brother recently came home from college and brought one home with him, and it's a small lab puppy, and we absolutely cannot get him to stop barking.
Yep. Yeah, first thing on barking, I always tell people is we try to figure out what they're barking about. A lot of times that can be several different deals, but if you kind of pinpoint, and it's something you're going to kind of sit down maybe with your vet and kind of talk and see why the dog is barking. Is it separation? Is it fear? Is it territorial? Is it wanting to get the other dogs to play with it for attention and stuff? And then you have to kind of direct your answer or your fix towards that. For instance, if it's barking for attention, a lot of times you have to wait that out, and it can be a long time. You separate them and they're barking, and then you only get them out when they're quiet, for instance.
So don't reward them for the barking.
You betcha. You come when they're barking and they just taught you.
Exactly.
They're just training you, and that shouldn't be how it is.
No, not at all. Well, thank you, Dr. Joe.
Thank
you.
you.
Dr. Joe is here to talk about barking or whatever else you want to talk about every Thursday. If you missed any of today's segment, you can go to KJRH.com, click on the Lifestyle tab to watch it again, learn about other pets who need homes, and find out more about Heritage Veterinary Hospital. Aaron?